Hey, yo, we got a little impromptu show. The topic of the show is what do women really want? We got Rel with us tonight. It's Rel's show tonight. He wanted to clear some things up because a lot of times people post stuff up. So he's going to answer the question to the best of his knowledge. What do women really want? Rel, what's going on, bro?
What's going on? You know, my level's clear. I'm glad you
You froze, Rel. He froze. Rel giving us something special tonight. Talking about.
I'm
Oh yeah,
good.
you have froze for a second. There
I'm
you
back.
go. You back. I can hear you. Yeah, he got something special for us tonight, Joe. He said he wanted to go live in reference to what do women really want. So anybody got any questions for Rel? Just start shooting
Yeah,
them
yeah,
now. Yeah,
yeah.
you back, Rel.
Yeah, no, I felt like this was an important topic.
Yeah,
I was, it was a conversation in the group, and it was about pretty much submission, right? I just feel like in the community, like submission is taken like it's control or it's a master slave type of dynamic. And the thing about it, right? Um, the black community is a gynocracy. So Big Mama runs the house. It's never about Big Papa. You know what I'm saying? And so anytime you give the image of the male having any control over anything, there's automatic kickback. But submission is really about, you know, what is the plan? What is the plan of action? So, all right, what are we gonna do? We don't want to be arguing with you at the mall as far as what's the plan? What are we going to see? XYZ. What restaurant are we going to go to? And then when we get into the home and we living together in the same situation, we don't want to argue about what are we saving for, what are we putting our money toward, what business are we doing, what risk are we going to take to get further, right? So, submission is pretty much about like, okay, who's the established leader for this certain goal, right? So, when men ask for submission, it's not about listen, hey, sit down and shut up. It's about listen, this is my plan. Let's follow this plan and let's do this like I said. You know what I'm saying? Now, for certain people that may seem visceral, but for certain people that's all right. Now, if you've been in dysfunctional situations, that control may seem like it's abusive because you've never been in a situation in which that is productive. You've seen negative situations where submission consists of, hey, sit your ass in the house. It's not what this is for. Um, Submission is about getting forward. What's the plan? So now, with that said, so there was a post earlier in the group, you know, and it was talking about, listen, it's hard for me to submit to a person, that's not helping out with the bills. Listen, submission is the first step in a relationship. You should not be with a man you can't submit to. So why are you even speaking to him? Why are you even involved with him? That's the very first step. Even when it comes to terms of sex, if you can't submit to that man sexually, then you shouldn't be with him. You
so
using
I'm gonna
masculine
ask you a question.
energy.
I'm gonna ask you a question, bro. You think a man should ever have to ask his companion to submit? Should that ever have to be asked, or that should just be natural?
Um, you said, should a man
Should
have
he?
to ask a
Yeah,
woman to submit?
yeah.
No, and no, actually, I think it's no, I think it's an automatic thing. Like your girl should be so enamored with you. She should be so yo, your female should look up to you. And for women, like you should be able to look up to the man. Like, don't get me wrong, provision is perfect. Like you should look up to the man that's able to provide for your family. Don't get that wrong. That's an important attribute for a man to have. You know what I'm saying? But you should look up to his values, his morals. You know what I'm saying? You should respect his opinion, his suggestions. So it should be no questioning them because you picked him already. You know what I'm saying?
Anybody that's watching, anybody got any questions for Rel? Rel is spending a couple minutes with us. He said he ready to answer and clear up all the madness from a post from earlier because sometimes he said that I guess the posts get taken out of context on what he be trying to convey. And I don't remember the post offhand. I guess it was a submissive post, right?
Right, right. I don't take it personal because I see the same talking points and tactics from all women. If I say, okay, well, if we talking about that post, for instance, you know, the main thing about that post as a woman, you shouldn't be talking about a man needs to do XYZ for you in order to do ABC. That's a transactional. That's a transactional situation. It's almost prostitute like. And I
So,
don't say it vicious like that because it's a vicious situation. Because it could come down to a situation like, yo, he didn't do this for me, so why should I do that for him? Now remember, this is a man who you supposed to, if he's in your house, you're supposed to love him. If you with him, you supposed to almost look up to him because you like him. You know what I'm saying? So it should never be transactional. Y'all should trust each other. You should be a step ahead of him upon what he needs, and he should be a step upon you on what you need. So y'all don't have to have these transactional conversations because y'all have a bond. Y'all have pretty much a companionship where before you get home, he looks in your eyes and he knows you tired, so he make that bed and he gets you ready. It's not, yo, okay, so he didn't get that bed ready, so I'm not doing it for this nigga. We not doing
so
that.
you think I'm gonna ask you a question? Do you think that a lot of times on social media, people make relationships appear to be like, we got defined roles. Like that's not real world thinking. Like real world thinking mostly be like, nobody has a defined role. We met each other. We like each other. We into each other. We start a relationship. Like you feel like roles got to be defined or undefined, or that's just some stuff on social media.
I think regardless of what you make, roles are inherently like natural to the position of a man and a woman. A woman don't feel right. Um, a woman doesn't feel right about having to support a man constantly, right? And a man doesn't feel right about having to keep a woman constantly from being underwater. So it's like it's a respect thing. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is, with women, what they really want a man who could be that superhero. We get this from this Disney movie. They want you to be Cinderella, you in the basement cleaning, and they want you to come to the rescue and make them the princess. But the reality is, in the community, that's not always going to happen. You have to have respect for this man to the point that you believe he's going to become that role. You have to honestly believe that with all your heart and respect him as if he's already there, you know? And yo, you could be a millionaire one day and a bum the next, and you could be a bum the next and a millionaire one day. So you can't sit around here and just go around and pick just simply off the numbers in these bank accounts because that could go away. You have to respect these men for the people they are and the values that they have because that goes along infinite. It's money is finite. Everybody have ups and downs. You just can't simply say a man is not a man because he ain't providing.
So let's get some questions out there. I mean, the people that's watching, Rel is here to answer some questions. I'm quite sure somebody got something to say. Can I get somebody said, do you think that a girlfriend should submit to a boyfriend without a marriage commitment?
Hey, this is my favorite question. Let me tell you something, right? You don't become the wife doing girlfriend shit. You know what I'm saying? You should automatically submit once you choose that person. You should automatically be doing wifely. I hate saying that because you should be that person. That's the type of person you should be. You should You should be like, listen, babe, I got that for you. And once you like, if you see that's how he's moving, you can actually feel somebody's authenticity. You know what I'm saying? You can feel it in your heart. Like, yo, he tried to do this. He tried to do that. It's no reason for you to stop doing things because like this is the rule. No, it's either you're that person or not. You know? Are you that girlfriend who has wife qualities? Are you that boyfriend who does things that husbands automatically do? It's just, is it you or is it not you? You don't just get a ring and then decide to be this person. It has to be you before then.
So I hope that answered the question. Anybody else got any more questions for Rel? You know, we here. Rel said he here. He here to represent, let everybody know he in the building. Uh, to clear up the submission thing. So Rel, you think that like I said, a lot of times social media, you know, makes all of our relationships perfect. All of our relationships are perfect according to social media. If you're in a relationship, or if you're not. So you think that a lot of times, like a person that asks a question in the group or on social media in general, like they put unrealistic expectations on what they want. You think? Reldon froze up on me. You heard me?
Yo,
I hear you again. Oh, you heard me, Rel? Hold up. Hopefully he come right back. Anybody got any questions for Rel? He here to answer these questions for the. He said a lot of times people don't understand what he be saying, so Rel is here to answer questions for y'all. He said, "What do women?" He said, "I want you to title it. What do women really want?" So, you know, I guess now is the time to say what y'all wanted to say to Rel. Yeah,
yeah.
I hear you, Rel.
I think what happens is right, with a lot of women, right? Because the truth is that women run so, no, let me say this specifically. Black women run social media. Period. They set the trends. They set every type of social interactions. They run that shit. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is like of course people like to front on social media, right? So the thing is a lot of chicks be in situations that that are actually the opposite of what they're in when they go home. You know what I'm saying? They tough on social media, but when they go home, it's like it's a whole nother different thing, right? So it's what they want it to be, not what it is.
So
And
what you mean, Rel? What you mean? You think they be on social media fronting?
yeah, man,
Some of
because
them.
it's actually not possible to actually be in a relationship with as a woman. It's not possible to be in a relationship with a man that you want and have him be submissive to you as a woman, because women don't respect men that are submissive to them. You know what I'm saying? They choose the men that are actually difficult for them.
So you saying on social media they'll tell us, oh, I want a man to do this, I want a man to do that, I want a man to do this, I want a man to do that. But the reality is that they want a hard headed joker, a joker that's going to be a challenge for what they trying to get. They don't really want a joker that's submissive to them.
Exactly. And you know, and like, and I'm like a bold example of that because I actually speak my mind on what's going on, and I really don't care. Like a lot of people tiptoe around like women and their feelings or how they because they don't want the backlash, right? But I know women's nature. Period. I could say the truth to a woman and then turn around and then she'll want to be involved with me regardless because I'm actually being truthful about what it is that they want. You know what I'm saying? Um, and in that same situation, if I tell them that in text, in plain text on social media, they would disagree with me, but they're going home to the same man that I'm describing. You know what I'm saying?
So also, so it's basically they just So what you saying, Rel? I don't want to put words in your mouth. Like I said, anybody that's watching got any questions for Rel, uh, you know, say in the queue and I ask him because he can't see it because he out right now.
Yeah. Um, but
So
like I said, like it's just pretty much, it's hard because women want the opposite of what they actually say on paper. And what they say on paper is it's all right, it's cool, but it's almost imaginary. You can't be that type of person. You can have those values, but um you can't project those values. You can't lead with those values. It can be subconscious, like, listen, I'm gonna take care of you, but you gotta shut the up. You know what I'm saying? Um, or like, for example, the perfect example is me saying that I'm gonna take care of you, but you got to shut the up. That's the type of man that they really want. And then also, there's a facet. Don't get it wrong. It's good women who love good qualities and they accept you as you are for face value. But a lot of women in our community, they just they don't want you. They want you to be the good guy and the bad guy, in which that's a very hard concept for a bad guy to be, because a bad guy is a bad guy. So you dealing with a community of women who actually want bad guys to become good guys, and that's not possible. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Um, they would like to transition these drug dealers because they have swag or they have a little bit of cash. They love the ambition. It's not that they sell drugs. They love that these people are capitalists and they love the money, but they don't love what they're doing, but they're okay with it because the money's coming from it. You know what I'm saying? And it's very destructive to the community. But if I have that conversation with some of these people, they're not going to admit it. You know what I'm saying? But the truth is, our community is a result of what the women want from the men. Because these men would not act like this if it wasn't acceptable from the woman.
Oh, so you think the square sort of say he don't get the attention. They like the bad boy. They like they like him rough. They don't like a joker with dress socks. They like a joker with Timberlands.
Right, right. They want a joker with Timberlands to pull his pants halfway down his knees, put one of his Tims on her left ass cheek, split that, and then hit it, and then give him some money and still treat him good. But it's not possible. You're gonna go through turmoil with that man, and you're gonna get frustrated because y'all having good sex and that's all good, but you can't turn him into a person that's gonna be an outstanding man because you chose him on the basis of him being, what he wears in front of him, which is the bad guy. And now you're trying to transform him. You can't do that. You can't, Shorty, you can't do that.
So what do you think? Like how could Because I see like in the Let's Talk group
Hmm.
a lot of relationship memes or questions. Those always seem to be the ones that have the most engagement. And then I'm in other groups. Like I'm in a group now.
Hmm.
Woo! That's all that's talked about is relationships and whatever. What do you think the causes are that relationship questions or sexual questions always are like hot topics in groups?
Honestly, I think that like I said, women drive the discussion on social media. Men men they generally, like, a lot of men are scared to talk. They scared to talk, or they're scared to press their opinions. They, like, a lot of men have odd
So you saying
habits.
they be on sucker shit?
They be on some sucker shit. Like, they're afraid to either be who they are because they know the women don't are not receptive of that, and they're even afraid to refute what women say. Women can say the craziest thing, and a lot of men won't say anything until one man says something. You know, and it's the same thing in the community. Like there's no listen. We live like when I say we live in a gynocracy, we live in a men are afraid to say what needs to be said to women. You know what I'm saying? And it's very toxic. It is very toxic to the community. Very toxic. Men are afraid to like the comic book Avengers. Men are afraid to talk about video. Men are afraid to read books because they know that's not cool to women. You know what I'm saying? Men don't want to post. Men don't want to like politics. Men don't want to. It's so crazy. It's very crazy.
So you think that a lot of brothers like because if a man do go back and forth with a woman on a point on social media and then the thread start getting big like 20, 30 comments,
Yeah.
then like I'm gonna ask you, do you feel like then people start looking at the dude like, yo, some sucker shit, like he's sitting here going back with a woman?
Well, here's the thing. People think that's really some suck. Like it's a faction of people. Like I say, 25% of men think it's some sucker shit because they was raised by their mothers to feel like okay, whatever a woman say is absolute, and you need to not say nothing against her, right? And they don't actually think like that. Another 25% be like, yo, he's right, but I'm not gonna say nothing. Another 25% be like, they'll post and they'll be like, "Yo, you said, yo, you right," and another 25% just watch, right? Um, but you got to think about it, like, yo, that man is actually showing courage against what society has set as what's, you know what I'm saying, what it is, you know what I'm saying, and the thing with me, right? Like I always say, I've always had a lot of options, so I'm not scared to say whatever to whatever woman. I really don't care, like. You're not gonna be able to sit there and say no stupid junk in front of me and get away with it, woman or man. I don't care who you are. And I've just realized that that idea that you just said, right, is what's holding back our community from being different, from being the best that we can. Because as men, and when I say this, a lot of people are gonna disagree with this. It's as well as watching the community, we're supposed to check the woman, we're supposed to check the children, and we're supposed to check the men. And women do not believe that we're supposed to check them.
I'm gonna ask
Whatever.
you. I'm gonna ask you a question about that. Do you
Uh-huh.
think? Do you think they don't believe that we're supposed to check them, or that we're not supposed to check? We're not supposed to check them, or say they're being checked in public? Because a lot of women will say they want a man to lead them. They want to be led. Like I'm a big proponent of saying a woman will allow you to lead her if she want to be led, but it's like you don't know what you're gonna get. I guess you know.
A, a woman don't want to be checked in public. A woman want to be checked in private. A woman always wants to feel a black woman always wants to feel like she has control of the situation. I feel like if you check a woman in public, she's gonna act out. You know what I'm saying? Just because like she almost has to, and that's one of the big things with black men and black women. And that's why we go back and forth a lot, and we have those issues. But we shouldn't even do that. Like women should be okay with men checking them because we actually supposed to lead this community, and they're not letting us. So that's not possible for us. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna ask you a question. You think that they have to let us lead anything? I believe that we should just be doing. I mean, I know a lot of brothers just like we just doing what you do. I mean, I don't think it's a matter of letting us. I think like you said, a lot of times on social media, a person will put up a wall and they'll appear one way on social media and then another way behind closed door. Like, yo, like we have a lot of outside influences that will influence our decision making, like standards. Like a woman to go for something in her household, and then depending on who she befriends or who's in her ear, then all of a sudden she'll be like, "Oh, I can't go for this no more." Like she'll allow outsiders to affect her relationship.
Right.
So what do you think about that?
Um, I really think that like, see, I'm big. Like, see, my family is really big, man. Like, my family is really big on both sides, and then I have extended family, and like I'm kind of like the big cousin of everything. So it's I don't let nothing. I don't care. Like, even within the family, I don't feel like you should let your cousin be out on the street doing things and you not saying nothing. I don't feel like your sister should be doing things and you not saying. I don't feel like your brother, your cousin, like, we should be out there saying things to whoever, because when we let it slide, this is when a problem arises. And I think the culture right now is too much. Okay, well, just
Rel froze for a second, y'all. Y'all know you're outside, and it's a little crazy. But just give him a second, he'll be back. He just froze for a second. Just give him 1 second. You back, Rel? He dropped for a second. He'll be back. Yeah, I guess Rel is explaining to y'all his position tonight, which is a good thing, which is a great thing, I guess. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So
Like,
I hear what you're saying. As men, we're responsible, and I always like to say this: as the man goes, the family goes. As the
right,
family goes, the community goes. As the community goes, the nation goes. I'm a firm believer in that. And
right.
really, and it's a meme that I made. Actually, if you follow that method, we're like the biggest example. Whenever you look at our society and when it was good or when it was strong, whether
Hmm.
we want to look at it or not, it may have been women behind the strong men, but it was men leading the way. I take like a lot of people like to give a lot of credit to Malcolm X, but I take nothing from Betty Shabazz, Dr. Betty Shabazz. She was a
Yeah,
very strong woman. She raised those girls by herself. You know
right.
what I'm saying? So, what do you think our biggest issue with society? Like, you think social media has messed us up as a whole?
I think that I think social media has shown us, which is actually the real divide. It's shown us how people think. You know what I'm saying? It's shown us how, you know everybody thinks, like, what is their typical thought, and then also it's put people in thought bubbles. People coalesce around a certain thought path. So it's put people in what they call it, influence sphere, or like people only want to deal with people that have the same opinion as them, you know. And I feel like that's very dangerous. I have a lot of people I disagree with on the daily, and I still love them deeply. You know what I'm saying? Yo, if something happened, it's people that I'm tight with in your group, but I'm not tight with them. But it doesn't matter. It's certain things I say because I'm passionate. You know what I'm saying? But trust me, if something happened, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna be there if I have to, because that's what I have to do as a man. You know what I'm saying? And it's not about sacrificing myself. It's just because I know what's important. I know who I need to be. You know what I'm saying? For the people who out here, regardless if they know it for themselves. You know what I'm saying? So it's things that I need to say. And I just feel like social media has introduced has no has shown us a lot of cowardice in the community, for those that are less outspoken or less it just kind of ran by the people that are more outgoing. And a lot of times the people who are more outgoing are a lot more bold and risky with what they want to say, because it's for the likes, you know what I'm saying? But and the worst stuff gets the most publicity. And it's kind of no way to change that because once Facebook and Instagram added the likes, now we talking about the worst of the worst coming out. We talking about the naked woman. We talking about um the deviant behavior with the man or just the jokes or whatever. But the most important stuff gets kicked to the background. You know what I'm saying? Matter who's the boldest of the bold saying it, and it's destructive towards society. Um, but the most important intelligent stuff gets ground to the back, and we can't have these conversations anymore. And it's crazy.
So what do you suggest before we close? Because I know you was in the middle of doing something. Uh,
Yeah. I just suggest. I just hope that we get out of this the influence sphere bubble of social media. I understand, like, when you make a post and somebody refutes whatever you says, or somebody has an objective comment to what you say. We got to stop getting emotional and and just try to think objectively and put ourselves in the other person's shoe. You know, Even the comments that I said earlier, I just think that some of the women involved, they didn't put themselves in the other person's shoe. How would I feel if a man I was with, you know what I'm saying, started disrespecting me because I wasn't helping him with his business? You know what
mm,
I'm saying? That's just not something that you should do if you respect the person, whether he's helping you or not. It's just a human to human thing. Like it is what it is. So I just think we need to think objectively whenever we receive objective comments. And I don't know. That's the best I got because it's such a complicated situation, just being social.
yeah, probably tomorrow. Tomorrow I got a political show
Right,
uh at 7:30 tomorrow, as well as I probably do a show tomorrow on what do men want.
right,
And the girls will probably be here. The young ladies will probably be on tomorrow, and I guess they'll come from a different perspective on what do men want,
right.
and they'll get a spill. One of the things, bro, and I always, we go back,
Hmm.
and I never understood is like, and it bothers me. Anybody that know me, this right here, what I'm about to say, irks me. Why is it always men and women attacking each other? I just don't get it. I mean, at the end of the day, from a personal perspective, I made some real bad decisions
Right,
with picking people that wasn't good for me. And I wasn't good for them at the time that I pick them. I mean, I think a lot of times we get in bad situations, and the first thing we say is, all women this, all men that. And we be dead serious. Like, you didn't
right.
look at none of the stuff that you did, none of the issues that you got going on, none of the hangups. Like a person to look at somebody and be like, oh, well, I was dealing with him, he do this, or he don't hold the door for me when we go in places. Like, I mean, he might not understand the holding the door for. I mean, but he could be doing other things right. I think it's a lot of people that have these fake deal breakers,
Right.
and they'll throw a whole person, a whole male or female away
Whole
just
race,
because
yes.
just because it's like, oh, this is a deal breaker. We went to a restaurant, for example. I know a lot of aggressive women, right? And you go to a restaurant, and I was always taught by my grandfather, you let the lady order first.
Right.
Now, she may not want to order first. She may want you to order first. You know what I mean? I just think that society, sometimes when people are dating, they have too many boundaries that's just be like weird sometimes. And then they want to tell their girlfriend or want to tell their boy about a date, this, that, and the third. And what's your opinion? I mean, if that person makes you happy, if that person makes you feel secure and comfortable, and you
Mhm.
feel like you could level up with that person, and they can add to what you got going on, your happiness, I don't see why it's so complicated. I really don't.
It's I just think it's complicated because a lot of people harbor. I think more so than when more. I think more. People value the lessons that they learned from previous people too much. I've taught my little cousins that every time you deal with a new person, you have to put your head basically under the gun. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't come into a new relationship with old values and thinking, you know what I'm saying, you you know. And it's very dangerous thinking, but like this is what you have to go through if you're actually searching for a person, you know what I'm saying? And I just think you have to look at how people are raised, and then see if they're actually, you know, if they can actually look at you objectively and say, okay, well, he's like this, but is he actually, you know, stuck in this way, or does he have the ability to change? So I just think a lot of people don't think about the ability to change in people, and they don't want to deal with it because they've been through so much pain.
You got a question in the queue, Rel.
Yeah.
What is your philosophy about the first date? Do you pay for it or do you split the bill?
Listen, like my philosophy about the first date. Listen, as a man, like even when I'm taking out friends, like you know, most likely I've got it. So the first date, I've got it. Um, but I have to see like a genuine, and you know, I can't lie. Nobody really disrespects me, so it's fine. I'm fine with paying. Like I'm cool, but I have to see that I like you in order to continue doing that. You know what I'm saying? So it's no issue for me.
So that's never. I mean, I don't know. I might sound real naive in what I'm about to say. I mean,
Right.
you meet a young lady, you go
Right.
out at the time where the bill is getting paid. I mean, is it like a well, who's paying or well, I got us? I mean, like what? How does that go? I mean, whoever gonna pay. In the long run, that's how I look at it. Whoever's gonna pay, whoever's gonna reach for their money, or whoever's gonna reach for their card is gonna pay. I don't think that should be a major issue on who's paying for the date or whatever. I mean,
But
I'm
people
quite
look at
sure.
it as an issue. That's a lot of times that's a first strike for you. Like, oh, this nigga ain't even pay, or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. All right, bro, man. I appreciate you, man. Tonight, man. I know you was in the middle of doing something, man, and I know you wanted to clear up some things that get a little misconstrued with the post sometime, and you had some thoughts you wanted to share, man. Enjoy your
Yeah.
night, bro, man. I'll holler, all right?
All right, man. Good luck. I see you soon, man.
All right, bro.
All right.